Welcome, listeners, to the Dream Stream of Consciousness podcast. I am Yiskah Cook.
And I'm Ellen Ronis.
Hello, Ellen.
Hello, Yiskah.
It's so good to see you. So,
And
we
you.
thought Andrew was going to join us today, and he still may or may not. If he does, we may have a brief intermission while I welcome him in. Is that okay with you, Ellen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, I know you were saying last time you'd like to do a dream of mine.
Hmm.
You'll have to excuse me. I have a cough drop in my mouth. Um, but mine isn't so pulling of me. It feels very personal in
Hmm.
that, well, I guess I will share a little, but a really little. And then I'd like to really spend the time with yours if that's okay
Okay,
with you.
sure. Yeah.
I just had a dream. It was after the eclipse that everything was going wrong. Everything was going wrong. And I can't remember exactly the things that I was doing wrong, but there were a number of them. But I remember the one closer to when I woke up is that I was trying to change my clothes and I wanted to keep on my bra, but change my shirt and put on a different shirt, whatever. And I was doing whatever I was doing. And then the next thing I know, I'm holding my bra in my hand. And I'm like, no, that's not the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it differently than that. And it was very frustrating. And then the next part is I'm spooning my son. He's 14 now, but he was little, like 5 or 4. I was spooning him. And then I had a sense that maybe my older son was also in the dream. But I woke up feeling discontent with it.
Hmm. Hmm. I just had a hit about the bra thing and that,
Yeah, please.
like to me, the bra is like the foundation, right? I mean, they even call it that foundation garments.
Yeah.
It feels like, right, the support, the underlying support. And you
Yes.
were like, that part's okay. I just want to like
Yeah.
change the more superficial thing,
Okay.
or
Yes.
how I appear, what it looks like, or
Yeah.
maybe what I think I feel comfortable with. But somehow the dream seems to be saying, no, you need to take that support out and maybe do that differently.
Wow.
That's just that aspect of
Yeah.
the
And of course, I think of it. It's
dream.
about my maybe relationship with my sons, and that's also a
Oh
breastfeed.
yeah,
You know,
maybe. Oh
and
yeah, that
my
makes sense too.
my ex-husband has moved, and my 14-year-old decided to move in with him. He
Hmm.
moved into the school district, and so now I'm here, like wondering when will I see him again.
Mm.
I think we're going to study Spanish together on the phone tonight.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, so
Yeah, it sounds like it's possible that the dream is processing that shift.
it feels like that to me.
Yeah, 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 processing your feelings about it.
Yes.
Hmm. Is there anything else that you want to know about it?
Well, I remember in when I was spooning lab, I was remembering when I was a girl, my mom spooning me. I was the little spoon. And I felt so safe. And
Hmm.
so when I was spooning little Lev, I was just wanting to uh like pass on this feeling of safety to him,
Safety and protection. Yeah,
protection. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Even though he's grown, but still,
I know.
that's your role. right? As a mom.
Mm.
Hmm. And your older son, was what was there anything specific about him? You said he felt like he was there too.
I think I was feeling similarly, like the way that my mom made me feel as a little kid.
Hmm.
That I don't, I don't, I don't think I am half the mom that she was. I mean, she was amazing. Not that I wasn't very loving, I was, but um, and I don't want to compare my mothering to my mother's mothering of me, but I just want my son, my older son also to feel safe and protected in their lives.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
And I
that's
guess now that my mom is deceased, perhaps she can advocate for my boys on
Mhm.
the other side.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a nice prayer, for
Mhm.
spirit of your mom to watch over your boys.
Yeah.
And you too.
Yes.
Right? Watch over you too. Hmm.
So maybe the action I can take from this dream is I can formulate a prayer, my heart, my mind, um, that I want to pray, and then that will take this dream one step further into waking life.
Hmm. Hmm. And do you have any sense of the clothing changes? What that was? Because as you know, have so many dreams of
Yes,
clothing
yes.
and clothing and this and that. No.
Oh, with the oh, good question.
Yeah.
It felt more like I'm sorry, just another instance showing me that I was doing something wrong, that I
Hmm.
had one thing in mind and then something else
Hmm.
transpired. So I felt very frustrated, but I didn't think of it that as we look at clothing, that
Hmm.
as we have looked at clothing in
Hmm.
exploring your dreams and how one represents oneself by the clothing one wears. So if I yeah, then that was another thing I felt maybe that I was doing wrong. This feels really true, is that I wasn't expressing myself the way I wanted to express myself.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, that's interesting because then I think of, your sort of hit about the bra, taking the bra off and about breasts and maybe like breastfeeding, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Your son's obviously 14 and even in the dream he was 5, which is
Right.
generally speaking old,
Yeah,
old for breastfeeding. But
we weren't doing it at that
yeah,
point at all.
people do that, but
I know.
generally not.
I know.
But that somehow there was maybe this very unconscious desire, to nurture in that way that
Yeah.
only you can, right?
Right. Right.
That yeah, and so it isn't obviously about breastfeeding, but maybe it is
Right.
about
Like the
being the
breast.
mama, the exact kind of mama that you are to your children,
Mm,
having that
mm.
be like somehow it feels like the dream maybe is saying, yeah, like this is how you do it. Like you think it should be this way, the clothing, this different,
Yeah.
take changing this but maybe
Yes.
it really should be something else, or it really is something else, but
Mm,
there's like it wants to point that out, like that, that your way of nourishing your children is something maybe that you don't know or you aren't paying attention to or something that you aren't.
mm.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
sometimes we think
that-
of a certain way that we are in the world, but
yes.
really, if, you know, we can somehow get a sense from either other people or other circumstances that we're actually more than we think we are, or different than we think we are in
Yes.
mind. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's maybe a little bit of a reach, but it kind of feels like it could work for that.
Maybe. When you were speaking, I was thinking there is a name of God in Hebrew, that
Mhm.
El Shaddai, that means the breast.
Oh, that's so funny because wait, let me just show you. I was just looking at this today.
Ooh, I can't wait to see.
This is my mezuzah, which I can't put on the wall because for a variety of reasons, but it says Shaddai.
Oh, oh
Probably reading
yes,
backwards to you, but it's Shaddai.
yes, yes.
And I was just looking at this yesterday. I just have it kind of leaning, and I was like, "What is Shaddai?" No, it's a name for God, but I don't
Yes.
really know what that means. That particular name of God means.
That is so wonderful. I love
Yeah.
it.
So what was your connection with that word?
Well, the breath.
Oh, oh, okay,
So
yeah.
just another like thinking of the breast and this way of nurturing a child to make them feel safer and and how El Shaddai is the name of God who nurtures us. God nurtures the people, and
Hmm.
God makes us feel safe for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting connection.
yes,
Hmm. So is there anything that you might, I think you said earlier, like what you might do to kind of honor the dream or
yeah. I love how you said it's like a prayer,
hmm,
and it does feel like a back end to a prayer, And I'd like to, really think about the content of his dream, and because it really, I think we can tell how valuable it will be for ourselves to work a dream when we look at the feeling we had upon waking. And because
yeah.
I felt, and I didn't feel good about it. So that tells me I have work to do on this dream.
Hmm.
And so I think I really want to look at what it is this dream is telling me, and I'm learning from this dream, and then figure out what the prayer is that I want to be clear on. And
Hmm.
then prayer is an important part of my life, so I think
Yeah.
that will be a good activity for me.
Yeah. 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 How can you sort of, in a way, transform that sense of frustration
Yes.
into something positive,
Hmm.
something nurturing, nourishing,
Yes.
right? Like kind of what you feel like you're doing in the dream, nourishing your kids.
Mm. Yes.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
wasn't nothing. That wasn't,
Okay.
you know how it
It
is. Like,
never is.
no, that was more than a snippet for
Yeah.
sure. And, definitely some substantial, meaningful imagery, I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah.
I feel I'm always a little wary to do something so personal just because if I don't see now I can see it as a universal
Hmm.
a dream for all of us, a collective unconscious dream. Because
Yeah.
if I'm looking at the breast and this illusion or allegory of the name of God, if I'm making it much larger than just myself and my polka dot bra,
Uh-huh.
you know,
No, and so what does Shaddai actually mean? I mean,
breast.
it means breast.
Hmm.
Ah, okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Right. Which, yeah, that just means a lot too. I mean, that's so interesting that that's a name of God. That is a
I
name
know,
that
I
means a lot.
know.
But yeah, I think a breast, it's not like yeah, I mean, yeah, that's so interesting. I mean, I could riff on that. I could riff on that for a while.
Go
Like,
ahead.
is it, is it like the feminine, like the Shekhinah, which is the like sort of feminine
Oh,
essence
yes,
of God, right? The feminine
yes.
divinity.
The
Is
Holy
that,
Spirit,
is
the
it really
Shekhinah.
breast, or is it just like, you know, the breast, the chest, where the heart is? Um, you okay?
I am. I'm sorry.
Okay. Sounds like you got a little cold or something.
I do.
Um,
So, ooh, I was just going to say, so I think about breasts all the time. I find them very interesting. And, so interesting. So it's the breasts that attract the man, in one form of coupling. Breasts attract a man, come together, make a baby, and then the breasts eat that baby, you know.
mhm,
And yeah, I've thought of that. And
mhm,
I thought it was also really good for me to learn in my 20s when I was nursing Phelan, that oh my breasts are not for the men to ogle or like the media to exploit, with
Yeah. Yeah. They're
they're to feed a baby
Yeah.
that
Well, I
that I
wonder
grow.
actually, I wonder in a way if that's what attracts people, adults, to breasts, whether it's men or women, right?
The
Just that,
nurturing.
yeah, that it's like it almost brings back this primitive memory of even those of us, myself included, who were not breastfed, but still
Myself
there's like a
included.
very primitive
Yeah,
knowing that
yeah.
that suckling of the breast is
Mm,
life
mm,
force, life and
yes,
nourishment,
yes.
and maybe
I
that is
definitely think
attractive
so.
even to grown men, like
Yeah,
there's something primal about being
yes.
being cared for, being nurtured. Yeah, I don't know.
It's really true. And
So
I
there's more
think
to it.
everybody loves breasts. And
Yeah.
I think except if someone is wildly jealous and threatened by other things of beauty and attraction, which I'm
Mhm.
not sure, but I mean, I don't know if anyone who doesn't love breasts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Cool. Anything else? Anything that feels unfinished or anything you?
um, well, I'm just saying, actually, I probably do know a number of people who aren't at all attracted to breasts. So I just wanted to fix that misstatement. Anything else? It's just going to be something I need to think on more
Mm-hmm.
because it felt like there was a number of things, not just the breast. I
Uh-huh.
mean, not just the bra.
Right.
It was also a couple of other things. And
Mm-hmm.
I need to, kind of think on it to remember what they are and then to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. See how they fit into whatever it is
yeah,
that we kind of talked about or brought up.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. Yeah.
And shall we do a dream of yours, prolific dreamer that you are?
Which one? Which one? Okay, it's interesting that I'm looking back and like several of these dreams were at women's workshops. So something to
Okay.
that. I think
Yeah.
that's like that's it like that's the process of something in wake, like not that that's happening, but there
Mm.
is this kind of seed that's been planted about creating some kind of a workshop, particularly with this friend. So
Yes.
I'll do that dream.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I know I do want to work some of these other things too, but since I'm going to see her shortly after this, and I want to
Yes.
actually tell her about this dream and see if, I can make meaning out of it. So unfortunately, I wrote the dream down sort of like later in the day, and I hope I remember all the details. But I was being taken to a workshop by my friend Mary. The workshop was in the woods somewhere. I don't know where. It was just like in nature, like a clearing and trees around us. And there were these old, funky couches, it's sort of like semicircling around the sort of main, whatever stage area. And there weren't that many people there. And the people were, men and women, and they looked very, I don't know, how would I describe, like very unfashionable,
Mm.
like just not caring so much about fashion at all, like not whatever, not at all, like even like on a very basic level. And they just felt like Midwesterners who totally missed the mark on fashion altogether. Not that I'm fashionable, but there was just something very particular about that. They're just very frumpy, unfashionable, kind of middle-aged men and women. Um, and they were all kind of sitting around, and Mary like pats the couch next to her, like for me to sit, but there was only like a half a seat, and there was like another person, like a guy it was almost like I felt like I was competing with this guy for the seat next to her, kind of thing. I don't know who the guy was. I didn't really see him or really feel who he was, but I just felt that probably it was like her boyfriend or something. Not her boyfriend in actual waking life, but let's see what else. There were not too many people. I said that. Oh, and then at some point there was a like a big open like a basket, but when like a plate shaped, but a woven basket that was being passed around for donations or like tithing, like they do in a church, pass
Mhm.
around the plate. And people had folded up dollar bills or whatever, like, and they put the bills in, and it was a very particular way that they folded them.
Mm,
Um, not a particular way, but people didn't just put the bills in flat. They each put the bills in like in a folded way, so you could actually count how many people
mm.
tithed. And I passed because I was like, I don't even know this organization. This is brand new for me, so I'm not going to give money to it, yet. And I was concerned that people would know that I didn't tithe, that I didn't contribute, because they could count the number of sort of handfuls of crumpled bills or whatever. How that was a concern for me. Um, yeah, that was it. That was a dream.
Okay. So, a couple of clarifying questions.
Okay.
So, Mary, that's my friend's name,
Mhm.
is taking me to a workshop in the woods. Is that what?
Mhm.
Did I have if I was a dreamer, do I have a sense of what woods these are?
It's definitely not Santa Fe where I live. It's definitely not here. It's definitely sort of probably more East Coast, kind of
Okay.
something familiar, East Coast-ish. Nothing,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, somewhere
Yeah,
probably Valley, those mountains there, that type,
sure.
part deciduous, part evergreen trees, with
Beautiful.
clearing of, yeah, it's a kind of non-specific, but um,
That's my kind of forest. So, okay. And how many other participants did you say?
um, you know, not that many. That's what I said. It was kind
Yeah,
of,
that was,
like there was room for like a lot of
yes,
people, 50, 75 people. I mean, there's room for a lot of people because it's outdoors, but the
right.
seating stuff, the way the seating was, there was definitely more room. And so I don't know, maybe there was like 15 people, but it felt like the workshop wasn't full. Like it could have been more full and it wasn't. It felt very homey somehow, like,
Mm,
people that like familiar, but I didn't know them, but it had that flavor of everybody kind of knew, like a community, like everybody knew each other.
hmm.
Yeah.
And did I have a sense that my friend was going to be the facilitator of this workshop?
No, no, she wasn't. She was on the couch, she was on the receiving.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the sense was that she was bringing me to this thing, like
Okay.
that she knew of it. And
Okay.
was. And I do not at all have a sense of who the facilitators were or what the
Okay.
was about whatsoever. I have no sense of that at all. So that's kind of interesting too. I mean, literally none. I doesn't.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't. It's like this. It's just not there. But that she was the one who was bringing me, so that she knew something that I didn't know, or she thought that there was something here for me.
Yes.
Um, and
And
I'll just say, as I'm saying this dream, it really could very well be just my brain processing something about this person who we have in waking life planted a seed to do workshops together. But
yes.
she's okay. So here's what's interesting in
Yes.
waking life. Also, here's like a reality check. She's done these kinds of like women's workshops and things before, and she seems to have a better sense of what she would do. And I'm the one who feels like I need to figure out what would I do? What would I do? So it does feel a little bit like this dream is just processing that, but not
Yes.
serious.
For processing like beforehand.
Yeah.
how this can be.
Well, just yeah, just processing even my own feelings about doing a workshop with her, or
Mm,
feelings about, my own, I don't know, confidence, in doing a workshop. Like the senses that I lack, the focus, or that I lack, what is it that I'm going to want to be teaching? What are my
mm,
gifts to the world? What is it
mm.
that I want to be doing, with her, like in my own sense of empowerment and
Yes.
unique abilities and things. Like, it's like, even though I could know that in my brain somehow, my mind, like I could make a list of the things, but somehow there's this lack of confidence, and that's showing up in the dream.
Mm,
I don't feel in the dream, I don't feel a lack of confidence, except like, am I sitting next to her or not, or am I competing
mm.
with a guy to sit next to her? That was kind of an interesting moment that
Yes.
I understand. But other than that, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And the tithing thing is interesting. Like,
yes.
this has been coming up in dreams and in waking life about um, doing workshops and feeling like I should be doing the work, giving the workshop instead of creating. Oh, and I do think that there was something, was that this dream or another dream? Because I have had a couple with workshops where, no, I think this was another dream where somebody was putting down like tarot cards or something
Oh.
in a circle of, like a workshop for women. And I
Hmm.
was thinking, wait, I should be doing this
Yeah,
workshop.
but that's wonderful, to get to the point where I'm the teacher. Maybe I shouldn't be the student. It's
Yeah,
a real rite of passage.
yeah. It's funny. It's like, just as I kind of riff on this in waking life and in my own mind process about things, like
Mhm.
how, we can know things about ourselves. We can know a lot of things in the world. We can be very capable of teaching another person those things,
Mhm.
but the question for me is always like, what do I feel the most passionate about teaching?
Yes.
What is it that I want to pass on? What is it that makes sense in the world today?
Yes.
Like, I could teach someone to cook a thing. Well, that's fun, but like, is that, and I do have some passion for that, but it's like, that's not the main thing, that's not the main real like thing that I am. And
Mm.
whether I may be looking, too much into that, I'm not sure, but that seems to be a path of process for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
If this were my dream, I want to play a little bit around, and I'm gonna see this man who's sitting in like it's like I think you described it as a half seat. Mine's like a half and his is the other half. That is telling me that I am maybe myself and also this man. Right? It seems like we're one put together. So maybe the male part of myself who might be more, I don't know what the word would be, comfortable in a workshop teaching position. Not sure. But then I want to like kind of sit there and boot him out. And that will be then where the facilitators of this workshop are now sitting because Dreamer and also Mary are sitting together now on this couch. Turns out this is the focal point of, you know,
Mhm.
direction. And maybe here we go. We're
So
teaching our
maybe
workshop.
like are you saying like the half seat is like half her and then half me, kind of?
Ooh, I
And then,
like that. I kind of was seeing two things that didn't quite mesh together.
oh,
Where
okay.
if he's a half seat and I'm also to have a half seat together, he and I would make a whole. So
Mhm.
that makes me think of
Oh, I
my
see.
animus, the male side of
Oh.
myself. And then, but then,
Hmm.
just in playing with this dream, for my dream, I'm kicking him off the bench. Now, if she and I are sitting here, we are going to teach this workshop. We're facilitators together. So, and I think that's what you said you guys are working towards. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we're not actually doing the work towards it, but we have been planting seeds about, hey,
Yeah.
we both know how to facilitate things. We're both into, creativity,
Mm-hmm.
writing, consciousness, dreams, all, we have a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
Both, just have the desire to kind of, yeah, facilitate and, um, yeah, be in community in that way. And, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. I would feel if this were my dream, I would feel kind of it's not assistance, but like the kind of push forward, like, okay, I can move forward with
Mm.
this.
Mm.
It's dream sanctioned.
Dream sanctioned. Yeah. Yeah. I know. And I wonder if there's, yeah, this is other,
Yes, you're saying of others.
I feel like I might have told you this one. It's very short, actually, but I was in another women's workshop.
Okay.
I was having my turn to talk, and the facilitator was, asking me deeper questions and bigger, and I kept, so like she spent a lot of time with me, but I wouldn't have shared that much except that the facilitator was
Okay.
looking out of me, and I was happy to, as I
Yes.
as I am, happy to kind of expound on things.
Yes.
And there was this woman who was, she was kind of a little bit heavy set with blonde, like a blonde bouffant kind of, she would make up, and very pink, like bright pink, and not anything I would ever wear. It felt very like
Okay.
Texas or Midwestern or something, that came up in the other dream too.
Yes, it
Uh,
did.
but I don't know what that's all about, but that seems significant since it happened to a
Hmm.
certain kind of person,
Yes.
not anything like me,
Right.
and not even anything I'm particularly like drawn to. So I don't know
Yes.
what that means, but
That's very interesting.
she was very mad in this dream because she was very jealous and mad that I was getting
Oh.
this attention from the workshop leader. And
Hmm.
this is the one where she then started to give out like these very potent kind of cards that were sort of like tarot cards, but some kind of a divination card. And I didn't really see them, but I just saw her sort of handing them out, and that's when I had the sense of, wait, I could be doing this workshop. I should,
Oh.
I have the capability to be
Yes.
facilitating.
That's also very positive.
Yeah,
Dream sanction. So dreams are, if I'm the dreamer, dreams are kind of scooting me along on this path.
yes, they are. Yeah, I wish they would scoot me in the direction of this is it. This is what you're supposed to teach.
I think you have to figure that out,
I
darling.
know. I know. Oh goodness. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes.
Um, oh, this is another dream. Okay, I'll have to do it another time.
Okay. So I have a suggestion. You may
Okay.
have done this already, but I would just write down all the things that I'm passionate about, all the things that I want to show the creative process of, and say cooking, dancing, writing, painting, whatever, all the gifts, everything that lights you up. And then I want to like play with it. I play a lot of uh word games on my phone, and
Mhm.
there's one button you press and they all mix up again.
I love
And
that one. I
yeah,
love that. Yeah, that's
all
one
the
of my.
letters. And
Mhm.
so in a way, I'm wanting to do that with my list. I want to list all these things that I have a creative uh passion for, and then I want to look at them, and then I want to mix up the order
I love
and
that.
then look at them a different way. So maybe write them all in different pieces,
Yeah, like
and
different like
then
little sticky notes or something, and then
and
flip them.
yeah, exactly, and then mix them up again. And I just have a feeling that more clarity could come about what dreamer might want to facilitate about
Yeah,
for the
that's
workshop.
really interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. Yeah, I like that as a thing.
great.
Yeah.
I'll be excited to hear what comes of your
The
um,
exploration.
meeting with your friend. And where it takes you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. So good. So good to do this work with you, Dream Sister. Really,
It's,
really good.
yeah.
Feel
It is.
I feel I don't I when I first dreamed the dream I had dreamed, I felt like if I was going to be talking about it, I would feel exposed. But quite the contrary, I don't feel exposed. I feel seen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's the that's the idea. That's what I love. That's really what I love. All these processes, writing, painting, whatever it is, so
Yes.
much movement, the authentic movement work that I've done
Yes.
is really about the witness. It's
Yes.
about being witnessed in all that we are. The
Yes.
messy places, the dark places, the joyous places, like not just the masky places that we walk around in life with, but all of it, because we all have that, and nobody wants to say how that. Nobody wants to say the mess,
Yes.
talk about it, except
Yes.
me. I seem to be okay with that, but and some people, but mostly people
Yeah.
don't. People who are very deep and have all this, insight, inner wisdom and stuff. They don't really want to, bring that darkness out. It's got to be seen to be transformed. I
Yes. It's just
that.
like sunlight. It has to be in the sunlight to be bleached, the cleansed. So,
Mm-hmm. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for,
But I'm glad you
for,
felt.
yeah, thank you. And thank you for often opening your life up so that we can be a part of it because that means so much to me. And I imagine other people who listen to our podcast, we get so much from anything and everything that people share. So it's really a great honor to have you share so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, it's good to hear you say that because sometimes, we are who we are. And it never occurred to me at a certain point in my life that I am a person who shares much more um, vulnerably than most people do. Like I didn't
Mm,
know, oh, like everyone doesn't do this.
right.
You think, oh, this is just the way I, whatever.
Yeah.
Really thought much about it. Then it's been fed back to me in
Yes.
various ways and so then I started to feel really insecure about it. I was like, oh my God, I should,
Oh, quite the contrary. I
and
think
just
it's your
say all that.
strength. I think it's your strength. So it's
Thank
not a
you.
weakness to be open and vulnerable. It's a strength because, we're just open. We're all on this journey called life
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what
We
we
don't.
can share with one another and help each other along.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Exactly.
helping hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like if I think, if I sort of am in my ego and I've got it all together, which I
Yeah.
can do too,
Yeah.
that's the flip side of the vulnerability is no, I got this. I'm okay. I got,
Yeah. Yes.
that
Yeah.
is the side of it. But yeah, if I'm always walking around in that place, I don't grow and nobody gets to
Right.
grow
And
along
nobody
with
gets
me,
to,
learn from me or grow
from the
grow.
experiences that I had that I
Right.
think
Or
now could
relate.
be a good teaching for others. And whatever, I mean, I'm not averse to learning from others as well. I'm not saying I've so much learned from me and my vulnerable, it's not that either. It's just sharing of ourselves with one another in order to live the truest way that each of us can in our lives.
Well, I think it's really about sharing the most, the common human experiences,
Yes.
and what
Yes.
I've gotten from them, what I learned, how I've figured out how to move forward from that or
Yes.
through life with that
Yes.
instead of, just pretending it isn't there or
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
stuffing it down. Not that I don't do that too, but
That's another conversation.
that's another cover. Part two. The other side of the coin.
Yeah. That's funny. Well,
Oh,
thank you again, dear
you're so
Ellen.
welcome, Yiskah. Yeah, yeah. have a wonderful day, and I guess we'll check in maybe in a week or so.
Yes, sounds good to me.
Uh,
Listeners, thank you for joining us. We wish you Holomod Metukin.